Well, friends, good morning. I've got a question. Someone tell me, please, what is our school theme this year? What is the theme? What is the theme? What is the theme? Let's go right here. Maria, what is it? Do whatever he tells you. Do whatever he tells you. That's exactly right. Ding, ding, ding. Good job, Maria. Do whatever he tells you. Now, who is saying this? If you know it, shout it out. If you know it, shout it out. Mary. Mary is the one who's speaking. Mary's the one who's speaking in this moment. She's the one who's saying, do whatever he tells you. And who is the he that she's talking about? If you know it, shout it out. Jesus. Very good. She's talking about Jesus, right? So the context of that conversation, the context of Mary's words, of course, are the wedding feast of Cana. Very good. Okay, we're doing pretty good. Warming up our vocal cords. The wedding feast of Cana, where Jesus and his friends, they come to this wedding feast where these people are getting married, and there's a problem at the wedding. The couple, they ran out of wine. You need to have wine to have a good wedding celebration. They ran out of wine. So the whole scene, we all know the story, how it goes, right? Mary goes to Jesus and says, they have no more wine, right? And Jesus says, woman, what is this concern of mine? My hour has not yet come. In other words, he's saying to her, Mom, it's not yet time for me to reveal to the world that I am the Messiah. But what I will do for you, because I love you so much, is I will do a miracle that kind of points ahead to what I'm going to do in the fulfillment of my mission. So, Mary then goes to the waiters. We know how the story goes. She goes to the waiters and tells them, draw some water out, right? The whole scene, right? Do whatever he tells you. Do whatever he tells you. And the end result of this is that we have 180 gallons of water that get turned into 180 gallons of wine. He takes water and he turns it into wine. He takes something that's really good, water. Who likes water? I like water, right? Especially when you're really thirsty, right? Hot day like we've had recently, like you're outside playing, you come inside, you're like, I need water. Good, right? Feels so good. He takes something that's good and he makes it into something even greater, right? He takes water, he makes it into wine. All because Mary said to these waiters, she said, do whatever he tells you. Do whatever he tells you. Notice that when Jesus took water, he didn't turn it into like mud. Would that be like a cool miracle or a lame miracle? That'd be a lame miracle, right? That would not be greater. That would not be a great miracle. Taking something good and turning it into something nasty. Jesus takes something good, he turns it into something great. He magnifies things, he amplifies things, right? All because people listened to him and did what he told them. We have that in the gospel today. So you got these guys, these fishermen, Simon and his buddies James and John. They're fishermen and they've been out fishing all night and they've caught nothing. Do you think they're frustrated? Yes or yes? Yes, they are frustrated. They are very frustrated at this part. Do you think they're tired? Yes or yes? Yes, they are very tired at this point. They're exhausted, they're frustrated, they're probably hungry, they're probably worried because we probably needed to catch fish and we haven't caught any fish and this is not a good situation. And all he probably wants to do is pack it in, go home, take a nap. That's all Simon wants to do. Then this Jesus guy comes along and he gets into Simon's boat. He just gets into his boat and he says, put it out from the shore a good distance. He's in the boat and he's preaching to the people on the crowd. Can you picture this in your mind? Picture like a lake, right? With a shore right there, and picture a big crowd on the shore, and Jesus is just out at a distance in the boat on the water. Why did he do that? Well, because in Jesus' time, they did not have microphones. Now you're paying attention. They didn't have microphones. They didn't have electricity. They didn't have a way to amplify their voices. But what water does, it amplifies your voice in a really cool, natural way. So Jesus knows that, so he goes on the water to preach. And he finishes preaching, then he turns, he's going to say something to Simon. And if Mary was in the boat with Simon, what would she have said to Simon? Do whatever he tells you, right? Do whatever he tells you. When Jesus starts inviting us to do things, something awesome is going to happen. When Jesus starts inviting us to do things, something awesome is going to happen. When Jesus starts inviting us to do things, what is going to happen? Awesome is going to happen. So he pushes out, he says, cast your nets over the other side of the boat to lower them for a catch. Why did he say the other side of the boat? Why do you think he said the other side? Why do you think he said the other side of the boat? He's going to grant a miracle. If he says the other side of the boat, so what Jesus is saying is you're used to throwing the net on this side of the boat. It's just how you're used to doing it. This side of the boat. This is how you're used to doing things. This side of the boat. He says, try the other side of the boat. He's suggesting, try to do it a different way. Try this new thing. Try it in a different way. And what happens? They catch so much fish that the boats begin to sink. The nets are tearing. Think about this. These are fishing boats. Fishing boats are designed for fishing. They're designed to take into them this big haul of fish. They're designed for this. What they're not designed for is the size of the catch that Jesus happens to do for them. They're not designed for the massive miracle that he was doing for them. Like these guys, when they made these fishing boats, they're thinking, okay, maybe we might catch, like a big catch would be like, I don't know, 100 fish. So we need to have a boat that's ready to hold 100 fish. So they make that boat. Jesus comes along and he catches so much fish that their boat is sinking. Their boat is sinking. Like guys, this is Jesus. This is how our Jesus does things. When Jesus goes fishing, he catches so much fish that he sinks boats. When Jesus makes bread, he makes so much bread that he feeds 15,000 people and there's scraps left over. When Jesus makes wine, he makes 180 gallons of the best wine anybody's ever had. Jesus is a God of abundance. Say abundance. Say abundance. Jesus is a God of abundance. And when he invites us to do things, he's inviting us into adventure, right? So this whole year, we're going to be unpacking this theme. Mary saying to us, do whatever he tells you. Do whatever he tells you. And one of the big things in this, guys, is like Jesus told Simon, I know you're used to throwing the net on that side of the boat. I want you to try doing it on that side. Like, I know there's a lot of things that you're used to doing. There's a lot of ways that you're used to speaking. There's a lot of ways that you're used to playing at recess. There's a lot of people that you're used to talking to, that you're very comfortable talking to. There's a lot of ways that you're used to relating to your siblings. There's a lot of things that you're used to and comfortable with and familiar with. But Jesus is whispering to you, and Mary is suggesting to you, if you do it a different way, something amazing might happen. Something amazing might happen. This is what Simon is teaching us today in this gospel, friends. To be willing to throw the net on the other side of the boat. Amazing things happen. So Our Lady is telling us today, do whatever he tells you. So in our hearts, let's close our eyes for a second. And let's ask Jesus, Jesus, show me right now, what's the one thing today you want me to try to do differently? Maybe it's a relationship you want me to try and engage differently. Maybe it's schoolwork you want me to try and approach differently. Maybe it's mom and dad you want me to approach differently. Jesus, what's the one thing today you want me to try and do differently? Because if I do whatever you tell me, awesome things will happen.